Everybody, welcome back to the channel. Today, I'm actually going to be working on redoing our staircase. So we bought this house. It was a flip. It was not really done to that great a standard, unfortunately. So what I'm going to be doing today is working on stripping off all the paint, and then there's going to be stain underneath the paint, unfortunately. So I need to sand all that off, and then we're going to refinish the banisters, the newel posts, and then we're going to replace the spindles with some wrought iron. So we got to head inside and we got to start taking apart the old staircase, and then we'll start working on stripping everything down and refinishing it. So let's hop to it. Now, on the stripping part of this, I did some research online. I saw some good reviews for this stuff. So this is something called citrus strip. Apparently it's very easy to use. So all I'm going to do, I got gloves, and then we'll put some glasses on here. But it says just paint it on. So we're going to do that. We're going to let it sit for a little bit. And then we're just going to try and scrape it off. It's pretty thick. So I'm going to start on the bottom with these. It says apply a pretty heavy coat. All right, well, if you can't tell, I'm dripping. Don't have the mic on, so hopefully the audio is okay. That stuff worked pretty well. This paint is just such, I think it's such garbage that it's hard to get off. And it's like, it has always been sticky. It's a very frustrating that we have to deal with this, but let me go ahead and show you. I mean, the majority of it's off. This is the worst side out of all of them. Like the tops of them look relatively good. The sides down in the crevices there along that little bead detail. So we're gonna use that. We're gonna use that Festool sander. I have some sanding sponges that should get into the contours, and we're gonna test this out. But it's been a long day trying to strip all this stuff. I don't wish that anyone would have to do this. Definitely not fun. And we haven't even gotten to the fun stuff yet, which should be next with sanding and refinishing, and then doing some work on this post we got. So I'm going to bed. We'll see you all in the morning. That should be about 2 seconds for you. All right, well, good morning, everybody. So I've just been out here sanding away, pulled out the Festool. This is the RTS 400. Started with a 60 grit. You can see it's doing a really good job. It's not gumming up too much sandpaper either, which is nice. So once we get to the sides, I'm going to get a couple of these pads. We're going to stack them up. This allows you to get the contours. They're nice and squishy. So we'll stack a couple of those up, but I'm trying to do the tops and bottoms since those are relatively flat. And we're just going to keep going. I think I'll just take you to the end when this is all said and done. It's pretty boring watching me sand, but we'll get to the end when we're looking at sizing up newel posts, and then taking some other measurements for, I guess we can call it like the top skirt, something like that. We'll start sizing up that board as well. So we'll see you back in a second. All right, about to head in for dinner. So this is where I'm ending the day at. So I think it looks really good. So we're at a good, I think it's safe to say I'm at essentially step 1 now. I had to do all that work to get to the point where now we can actually look at finishing and setting up this bad boy. So this will be probably tomorrow's project. Will be to start mocking that up. Just to give you an idea. This is the old one. So a little bit of a change. So that'll be fun trying to figure out. I'm gonna have to cut some off at the bottom, but then I gotta transfer that over, which shouldn't be too difficult. Hey everyone, we're getting into cutting today finally. So let me show you what I'm gonna go cut up here. We gotta get some measurements first. Luckily, we're just doing the top skirt. I'm not even sure what the technical name of it is. So here's the side profile view of the staircase here. So I need to go find this angle, and I need to find what these two miters are gonna be here. So I'll take you inside. I'll show you how we're gonna do that. But the reason I say I don't need to worry about length is because this is actually the piece that was there originally. So we're gonna go inside. I'm gonna show you how to do that. I have an easy little tool that shows me angles and miters. So let's go. Okay, so single cut. It's gonna be, we'll say 40. Okay, and our miter cut is 25.5-ish each way. All right, so we're gonna cut the shorter piece of this first. So I need to unwrap this oak I bought, this select board I bought. Just a little past. Okay. All right, I'm gonna do another sanity check here, see if this is close. And that is pretty much perfect. Okay, so I'm gonna just draw a reference line. You can see that they did a number on this, trying to put in that flooring. So I'm going for this line right here because I want it to be level with the floor, and that's where this was. I'm okay with a tiny little gap sitting above the floor, but that's not something I'm super concerned with. Okay, so that looks good. Maybe time for a new blade. A little bit of burn, but nothing super bad. Okay, so now let's compare for the 4th time. All right, so we know I got to cut another at 25.5. So let's go ahead, get that set back up. Okay, this was the bottom. Okay, I'm gonna come down here to this end. I'm gonna draw a little reference line there. And now I'm going this way. You remember, it's gonna butt, so we need to have it angled this way, so when it tilts down to meet this miter, it's gonna be level up against the wall. So that was a 40-degree angle. Go ahead and cut this. Okay. That was fun. All right, so I have gone ahead and laid out how this is all going to sit, how I need to cut this to the best of my ability. You can see they jacked up the bottom of this when they put the floor in. Apologies, I know that you can probably hear some background noise before my mic died, so this is what we have to work with. So that's pretty much how I had it set up. It was like that. The biggest thing I'm worried about, I'm not worried so much as about getting the height perfect. I'm worried about getting this offset perfect because I don't want to have to go buy another one of these and I can't move the wall. So this is how we're going to do it. Well, there it is. So my post is 3 inches, notch to 1 5/8. So I've got a 3/4 inch line right here. This gets me plumb with where the handrail attaches up at the top there. So now I need to add, there's 3 1/16. So we're going to add 1 5/8 inches to this line. Wait, 1 5/8 inches or, no, sorry, 1 3/8 inches. So there's my line, 1 3/8 inches. Going again, 1 3/8 inches. So it looks like I cut this pretty square because those are lining up. Okay, there's that. And now I gotta figure out, so that's this part of the notch. Now I gotta figure out this angle here. So what I did was I went and just drew some square lines where each one ends here. And so now we're gonna kind of cheat and use this as a way to measure this. So if you can see this is kind of what I'm getting frustrated with, is here at the bottom, I'm not really sure where to measure off of. It's a little bit of a mess. So we're just gonna do the best I can. So I'm going to take it from this part, which is a little bit shorter here, just because I can always come back and remove. I can't add anything. So this may be a couple cuts or some sanding that fine tunes this. Okay. So there's that. Chink, chink. So right here where that line intersects is 1. And then we're going to set that right level with that, push this in. And then it needs to intersect with my 3/4 line, remember? So, because my 3/4 line is what gives this plumb with where the handrail intersects, and I need to make sure that I'm keeping that in mind. So let's go ahead, we will push this over here, give ourselves a nice indicator mark, and we will give ourselves that 3/4 line again. And now we just connect the dots. So theoretically, this is lined up. Sorry. This is lined up here. Which pretty much it is. And we have it coming straight down this way. I want that a little bit. Come on up. Come up, come up, come up. Okay. That looks pretty good right there. Okay. So now what I'm going to do, try to make this a little bit easier on myself. So I'm going to take my square and I'm going to just draw a line straight over to this side. So that's where it ends. I'm going to bring it over here. Perfect. And then now I can transfer everything over to here. So here's my 3/4 line already. We'll make sure that's a 3/4 line, and that is a 3/4 line. So my angle finder shows me it's at like 39.5 or 39 degrees. So that is what I am gonna do. And before I cut, of course, we're gonna check and make sure that that looks about right based on that angle there. So here goes nothing. So as you can see, left a little bit of the line right here, which is fine, and then it went right down the line the whole way. This I'll be able to sand smooth, so I'm not too worried about that. That was a very funky cut, trying to figure out how to do that with that saw. Okay, that's so I have just some, this is just a scrap piece here. So we're a little bit high here, but that's like 1/16 or 1/8 of an inch. And then if you look down here, it's actually not bad. This is the actual piece. This is just a scrap piece. So what I may do is I may just sand off a little bit on the bottom. And I'm gonna go ahead, I'm gonna sand all those lines true and straight. And I think this will fit really, really nicely. All right, so we're at the setting everything up stage now. I want to get everything mocked up, so that way tomorrow I can just worry about finishing everything. So what we're going to do here is I'm going to start mounting this railing to the post here. So we've gone through and measured. This is 3 3/8 of plane, so that's what I'm trying to match here. It's not just the height, but you got to measure the full angle and material bearing here. So 3 3/8. So what I got to do, I know this is 5 inches. So what I'm going to do here is I'm going to come up and measure 2.5 to get to the half point. And I'm also going to measure across here. So this is 3.5. So we need to go 1 3/4. So this here is the X that we're trying to meet here. Mark on that rail here. And then what I need to do is I need to come down half of 3 3/8, which I think I did the math right. It's 1 11/16. Okay, so now we'll just do some sanity checks here, make sure that this all matches up. So we got about, oh goodness, 7/8. Got just shy of 7/8, so I'll take that. I think we're good. Let's set this up here, make sure that that looks correct. Perfect. Great. So now I'm just going to watch this drill bit. And try and eyeball it on this line here. Okay. Okay, so here you can see came out relatively close to the middle, got a little off, but that'll be perfect for what I'm trying to accomplish here. There we go. That thing's not moving. Don't know why I want to have as few fasteners as possible, but I just want to kind of challenge myself. Okay, so we'll go ahead and lay some glue all around here. Cool. Gotta come up here high enough. Wow. Do one more. Let's come up a little bit higher. You're 2.5 inches. Okay, well, the only thing left I need to do, yeah, I just need to put these filler pieces on. Here, like this. We'll just do that with, yeah, let's do that with some brads. Get a nice rest there. Okay. Let's do that real quick. I think that'll look nice. You really won't be able to tell, especially once it all gets stained and sanded. I think this will look nice. All right, nothing really more to see. I'm just gonna go ahead, I'm gonna start sanding all these, make this as smooth as possible. Try to make it look and blend as much as I can to look like one piece. I think it looks pretty close right now, but we're gonna make it look better. So I'll come back when this is done. It'll probably be tomorrow, and we're gonna finish and stain all of this. Everyone, so just finished up the staining process. I'm gonna walk you through what I did. So first off, I started with this pre-stain, did this first, and then just did one coat of just standard Minwax wood finish. I gotta let this dry for a few hours. I'm gonna come back and sand it with some 220 grit, just real quick, just a quick light pass, just run right over the top of it. Take off any of the grain that raised up. So we'll do that and then apply poly, and then this will be done. But here's how it turned out. I already got the wife's stamp of approval. I think it looks much better than the white paint that was all over this. So I'm gonna go ahead, we're gonna apply the poly just with a rag. And then tomorrow, when everything dries, we're gonna start installing, which is what I'm very excited to do. I'm gonna get this inside and get my garage back. Install day, you can't tell. Finally. Handrails in, that looks much better. Okay, there's my center. This I can also cheat because I can just measure off the ends here, but we'll do this. Not bad. Okay. Slide this back on here. Okay. All right, so I'm working on drilling out the baluster supports now. So I'm not just drilling holes. So I actually have these pivoting anchor points here, these shoes that we're going to be using. So I actually I didn't sit down to do the math. Sorry if you can hear, there's a vent literally right at the bottom of the camera here. To show you how I calculated the balusters here. So this is a website called blocklayer.com. So all I had to do was go and input all my information, all my measurements, and then it gave me the layout. And so what I've been doing, I actually just went on here and marked it out with tape so I could redo it. And if you can see below this, I actually messed it up once, wanted to redo it. So here is my measurement line that it gives, and then here's my kickback, so that I make sure that my little shoes are in the correct spot, so the actual balusters are plumb up and down. So I've done it on the bottom here. We're gonna go ahead and we're gonna start drilling that out. All right, so I'm becoming a big fan of just using tape as templates on this. I've used it on a couple other projects, but so I just went through and I've got a laser and I have it going through the center just to give me some sort of a reference point. Now, when I actually go to install these, I'm gonna of course slap a level on the bar because I'm gonna have to insert the wrought iron in, and then we will bring it up with the top shoe already on it, and then we'll fasten it in that way. So I may cut a couple here just to see. I got to go to dinner here in a minute, but we'll see if we can maybe get one of these in fully. Okay, so time to install these. I have them all cut right here. So we're going to start with this one. And just to give you an idea of how I measured for all of these, again, all I did was I essentially just so I went through and I made these lines, just use my level line here. So I just used my laser level, shot a line straight up. This is where it came, so I'm just trying to kind of judge where the midpoint of this shoe was gonna be. And then I would just measure from end to end, and then I think I added between 1/2 and 3/4 inch. I started long with this one and then just ground it down until it was suitable. And I just use this essentially as my story pole. So now I have all 10 cut. So we're gonna go ahead and install all of these. So I'm gonna go ahead and put you on a time lapse. You don't have to sit through all of this and it'll be sped up for you. But yeah, here we go. We're gonna start putting the finishing touches on this finally. All right, well, it's in. The only thing left to do is got to do just some trim right around the bottom there to hide that screw and the screw on the other side, and then we're gonna caulk, let's see, all under here. Just gonna start down here, go all the way down. That'll be on the other side. Probably won't even show that. I'll just show the end. But yeah, so we can do that. I'm probably gonna wait till tomorrow since I gotta get the nail guns out to do that tomorrow morning, but majority of this is very much done now. So let me know what you think down below in the comment section. Hope you liked this one. I'll show you installing the trim and then we'll show you what it looks like all put together. But thank you for watching. Finito!